Hacer comparaciones. Cuando hacemos comparaciones, we make comparisons to highlight the ways in which two or more nouns are equal or different. Por ejemplo, este coche es tan caro como un iPhone, y Gloria es más alta que su papá. ¿Cómo hacemos las comparaciones? The following slides will outline formulas that you can use to make comparisons of superiority, inferiority, and equality in Spanish. Each formula will require the use of an adjective, adverb, or noun. Here in this table below is a refresher of some common Spanish adjectives and adverbs. Can you think of any others? Also, you'll notice that there's a little star next to adjectives. This is to remind you that in Spanish, our adjectives always agree in gender and number with the noun that they're agreeing with or describing. Ahora hablamos de comparaciones de igualdad. Sometimes we are trying to compare two things that are similar or identical. This is obviously different from what we talked about before when we were talking about inequality, superiority, inferiority. There are many ways to talk about equality in Spanish. The first way to talk about equality in Spanish is to form comparisons using tan. So our formula here is our conjugated verb plus tan plus an adjective or adverb y como. Por ejemplo, el café es tan delicioso como el vino. You'll notice here that not only is tan different than the más o menos, but we also have como instead of que. Para practicar, I encourage you once again to pause your slide in case the video moves too fast to make sure you have time to think this over. The next slide will go through the answers for you. Ahora las respuestas. In this example sentence, we are saying Ron is just as redheaded as Fred and George. Entonces la respuesta es Ron es tan rubio como Fred y George. Another way to form comparisons besides tan is using tanto. Here you can see in our formula we'll have a conjugated verb plus tanto. I'll explain the little stars next to it here in a second. A noun, and then como. Por ejemplo, tomo tantas tazas de café como copas de vino. Remember that tanto must agree in gender and number with the noun that follows it. In this sentence, you can see we have, instead of tanto, we have tantas because we have tazas. So the tantas agrees with the tazas de café. Aquí tenemos unos ejemplos. Primero, en los Estados Unidos hay tantos restaurantes de McDonald's como Subway. Ejemplo 2. Somos tantas personas en mi clase de biología como en mi clase de química. Y ejemplo número 3. Este coche cuesta tanto como un iPhone. So once again, with these examples, I recommend pausing this slide to make sure you fully understand these sentences, you can identify the formulas, and just to decide if you have any questions for your instructor. You can see in example number 3, another example of when we don't necessarily need the adjective, adverb, or noun in between our words. We can have something as simple as tanto como. Practicamos otra vez. Go ahead and pause your slide so you have time to figure out the answers. Las respuestas. What we want to say in this sentence is Harry ate as many hamburgers as Sirius. So, Harry comió tantas hamburguesas. You can see that tantas agrees with hamburguesas. And then we have como, Sirius. If you've noticed a pattern, when we were talking about inequality, we used que, más o menos que. When we're talking about equality, we have como, tanto como, tan como. There are multiple other ways to talk about equality in colloquial forms. You can see that list of the formulas here. You can see that we have our conjugated verb plus igual de with our adjective and adverb, and then que. We could have simply igual que, as you see in number 2, and we could have lo mismo que in number 3. Igual de. Ese perro es igual de lindo que el otro perro. Ejemplo 2, igual que. Mi hija Marta es igual que su madre. Estudiar en Madrid cuesta lo mismo que estudiar en Sevilla. This is all the information that we have for you about making comparisons. Once again, feel free to take notes and let your instructor know what questions you might have.